Hello everyone, my name is Thor and welcome back to Anthropology. Alright, thank you for joining me in today's video. If this is your first time, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay. On this channel, I talk all about things luxury fashion, analyzing current things happening in the industry, and also making handbag related content. If that sounds like something you're interested in, please like, comment, and subscribe, as well as turn on the bell for when I post. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. So happy that you're here for this video. This one, it's a little different, y'all. It's going to be my 7 things that I wish I knew before getting a ragdoll video. I don't make cat content all that often, but Lynx, my cat, does make appearances in a lot of these videos. Mostly you'll see her tail sort of waltzing through the background. But in today's video, I just wanted to go through some things that I wish I knew before getting a ragdoll and sort of things that I've learned along the way. So if you're interested in that sort of content, please keep watching. So I'm going to be breaking this video down into a few separate parts. One will be just a very brief overview of the ragdoll cat, how it's different from other cats. The next one will be sort of our purchasing experience getting a ragdoll, my partner and I. And then I will get into the things that I learned. There will be timestamps down below, as well as you'll see the chapter sort of in this video, so you can skip through if you're not interested in any of the parts. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the ragdoll itself. So I love ragdoll cats. Ragdoll cats have been big in my family for quite some time. My grandmother had them, and now I have them. So ragdolls basically were a breed that were recognized as a distinct breed in the 1960s by a breeder named Ann Baker. They reside in Riverside, California, or that's where the origin is. So basically, the ragdoll is a Californian cat. She's a Cali girl. Her temperament is that as well. So ragdolls are known to be fairly docile, fairly, Wikipedia said, a placid temperament. So they're very just calm, chill, cool, collected. In my experience, that has been the case. And they get their name, for those that don't know, because when you pick them up, they have a tendency to go limp and they don't really fight back. They just sort of like hang there and they don't struggle. So they go limp like a ragdoll. So when you pick them up, it's like a sack of flour. They don't really do anything, which people really like. It's because they're fairly easy to handle. They're fairly easy to pick up. They're not gonna like scratch you or run away when you pick them up. So that's why they're called a ragdoll. They are described as being dog-like cats, which I definitely get. When we first got Lynx, she was like, I don't know, she's very puppy-like, very playful, very curious, very like would follow us around, wanted to be with us all the time. Like it just felt like we got like a puppy that looked like a kitten, if that makes sense. So they are described as being dog-like cats because they want to follow their owners around, they want to play with their owners, they want to not always cuddle with their owners like a dog would. That will be one of my points that I get into. Ragdolls, they really want to integrate into like a family unit. So another thing about ragdolls is that they come in a variety of different color variations. So there's so many that you can come to like pick from. There's like pure white, there's pure, sometimes they're fairly dark and they have the seal point, which means they have like a darker feature around their face, the ears, the tail, and the mittens. Our cat, Lynx, she is actually a blue lynx point cat. So that means that her coloring is white as well as like a bluey silver, and then her features are more like a lynx, like so striped tabby, and then the ears are gray, her nose is gray. She doesn't really have mittens per se, but her tail is a little bit darker as well. There's so many different colors that you can pick from, which makes the ragdoll really fun. Another thing is that these are big cats. The ragdoll cat is known to be a large and muscular cat. They have more like square, more I guess robust features than some other cats that are known to be more like long and lean. Ragdolls are pretty like chunky and stocky, built like, honestly, I love to say that Lynx is built like a tank. She's just a big girl, and they range in size from 8 to 15 pounds for a female, which is 3.6 to 6.8 kilograms, or 12 to 20 pounds for a male, which is 5.4 to 9.1 kilograms. These are big cats. We figured this out when we had to buy Lynx 3 litter boxes because we had to constantly change the size that we got her because she just kept growing. And ragdolls grow fairly quickly in the beginning, but then it's pretty slow in the end. We have had Lynx now for almost 2 years, and she is still growing. They don't reach their full size and age until they are 2 years old. That is when they're an adult, and they roughly live between 12 and 15 years, so we're hoping for 15. So that's just basically an intro into the Ragdoll cat. Now I will be getting into my little story time of how we got her, and then I'll be getting into some things that I wish I knew. So basically this was, I'll set the scene. It is September of 2020. Annie is happening, Miss Rona is happening. My partner and I had been talking about a cat for a while, and we were just beginning to look around and see like what was available. Obviously, this was like peak Rona. Everyone was getting cats, the pandemic pets, as they say. So pets were fairly hard to find. We went through a few different breeds. We weren't sure if we wanted to get a Ragdoll, if we wanted to get maybe one, like adopt one from a shelter, if we wanted to get a Siberian. This area that we live, the fluffy cat and the fluffy pet reigns supreme. There are breeders that have fluffy pets all around we live, which is very lucky for us. And one of our friends actually sent us a link because her brother was looking for a Ragdoll. She did some research for her brother. He ended up not wanting it. We did. She sent us the link. It was for this breeder based like an hour or so away from us. And she had a new litter of Ragdoll kittens. We ended up messaging her, asking if we could, you know, FaceTime, see which ones they had available. And it's kind of funny with links. So she said that they had 5 kittens from one litter. There were 2 females and 3 males, I believe. The 2 females were spoken for. The 3 males were still available. I had it in my head that I wanted a female cat. So we just say, oh, okay, like, do you have any females? And then she said, oh, actually, I have one that I separated from that litter. So it was a part of that litter, but she moved it to another mom because the birth mom didn't have enough milk for all 6 kittens. So she moved the one kitten, which ended up being Lynx, to another mom that had a slightly older kitten, and there was only one of them. So it was just her and like her surrogate mom. So we said, oh, like, can we actually see that one? And keep in mind, she had showed us all the other kittens from the other litter, and we just like didn't really vibe with them. But then when she sent us this one, we said, she's the one. And what really made us pick Lynx, I guess, was because when we FaceTimed her, and I highly recommend you do that, FaceTime with the breeder, whether you meet them on Facebook, we met ours on Facebook, whether you meet them on Facebook, Kijiji, eBay, whatever it may be, FaceTime with them so you can see the kitten. We heard some horror stories of people sending deposits to fake listings, and then obviously they never got their pet. FaceTime with the breeder, make sure you can see the animal, make sure you can see that it is, you know, alive, it is looking well, it is healthy. So that was another thing. So we FaceTimed with the breeder around 3 or 4 times. We wanted to get a feel of the different kittens that they had. So there were 2 males and obviously Lynx that was available at the time that we were looking. We wanted to meet each of them sort of individually and see what their vibe was, see what their personality was. The 2 males that she had, which were Lynx's brothers, they were glued together. They looked so scared. They looked traumatized. They looked like they had been through some shit. We said hard pass on that. We don't want cats that forget. Lynx, on the other hand, since she was only raised with one other sibling, and the sibling was older than her like surrogate sibling and like the mom, she got more love and affection, I guess, and she was basically raised to be older than she is, if that makes sense. I don't know if this is true, but this is what my brain says is true. So she was raised with an older kitten, so that kitten was more adventurous, more playful. She was more adventurous, more playful, very curious, was running around a lot, and we wanted that energy. We wanted the cat that was going to be a go-getter, if that makes sense. We wanted someone that was gonna sniff around and not be scared and hide under the bed all the time. So we basically said, we want Lynx, we're gonna put a deposit down. We were supposed to get her in October. So it started in September, we're supposed to get her in October. It was a fairly quick turnaround, and then the day we were supposed to get her, she got sick. There was something that was going around the cattery, a little like virus or whatnot. So poor little Lynxy Poo, she was sick. She had like eye gunk and like she was sneezing all the time. The breeder delayed it. So we were supposed to get her at 8 weeks. She ended up delaying it until 10 weeks. So we had to wait an extra 2 weeks. Normally they say you can get kittens between 8 to 12 weeks as sort of like it's like a sweet point. We ended up getting Lynx at 10, and she was so tiny. She was so tiny. The first night it was pretty chill. We just let her get acquainted. One thing that we did is like we didn't really force her to do anything. We just like plopped her down, showed her where the litter box was, showed her where the food was, the water, whatever. And then we played with her to encourage her to come out because she did start to hide a little bit. Obviously, it's like a new place. She's a little baby. So we played with her to come out. We played with her to run around and just like be out, interact with us, engage with us. We obviously didn't want to be like too much for the first night. So we just pulled her out of her shell basically to interact with us. And the first night, we kept her locked in our bedroom with us as we slept, and she ended up sleeping on some of my dirty laundry. You know, it is what it is. And she did this for the first week. She slept in like a pile of my dirty clothes. So the first few days and the first months were really great. She was very quick to socialize with us, and she was like on the bed, she was in the blankets, she was very cuddly, affectionate, and it felt very natural. Like it felt like we all just sort of clicked, and she was like the perfect member of our family. We wanted to introduce her to our friends, obviously, but this was peak Rona. In Vancouver, we shut down basically from October 2020 through to March of 2021. Like everything was shut down. It was quarantine. You couldn't see anybody. You couldn't do anything. So it was just us three for all that time. And we really got to spend a lot of good quality time with her. And now we're all here. So Lynx is around, she's almost 2 now. So she's almost her full size, and she's a big girl. So that is my little story time of how I got her. And now I'll get into some things that I wish I knew. So the first thing that I wish I knew was that ragdolls are not lab cats. Ragdolls are not lab cats. They're not going to be the ones to sit on your lap. They're not going to be the ones to cuddle you in bed, like right next to your face. Lynx has done that 1 or 2 times, but since they are so big, since they are so fluffy, they generate so much heat within themselves that they do not like to be on people. It's just too hot for them. It's fairly uncomfortable. So it's like a little bit of a bummer. We've tried to, you know, keep her on our lap here and there, but they're just generally not lap cats. Sure, if you get a ragdoll, they may do that, and you know, that's amazing for you. But for the most part, they're not really lap cats just because they're so fluffy, and it'll be way too hot for them unless you live in like a really cold climate and they need warmth. But for the most part, they're not lab cats, and it just is what it is. The next one is that they are fairly affectionate and very friendly, but they are very affectionate towards their owners. So Lynx is very affectionate towards my partner and I. We have some friends that have stayed and like that she knows, so she's fairly affectionate with them as well. But sometimes when new people come, she gets a vibe and she's not interested in them at all, but she's always curious. So they're always curious. They always want to, well, I'm speaking from Lynx and from my grandmother's cat, but they're very curious type cats, and that's where the dog-like cat comes in. They just want to explore. They just want to know what's up. They just want to know who is here, but they will not always treat that person with the love and affection that they treat their owner just right off the bat. Some people, they run and hide. Like Lynx does not like certain people, and that's okay. That's just what happens. So next is that they are quite demanding. Lynx tells me exactly what she wants, when she wants it, how she wants it, whenever she wants it. So one example is that so we got Lynx playing with ice. Lynx loves the ice maker. She loves playing with ice, scooting them around the floor. She will run up to us when we're in the kitchen, meow, scratch at trying to get into like the freezer just to let us know that she wants ice. As soon as we get it out, she runs into position where she wants to attack it from, and then we just scoot it across the floor and she gets it. Another part is this thing right here. I'll include a video of me playing with her with it, but she will just meow, run, jump in this, and let me know that she wants to play time. So as we are different species, as we cannot communicate via language, this is how we communicate, and I love that she tells me exactly how she wants something, when she wants something, basically why she wants something. So it's like that non-verbal and sometimes I guess verbal communication that lets us communicate with one another better, and I love that. Some people don't like that. Ragdolls can be fairly vocal. Some people don't like that. They want a cat that's quiet. You know, maybe a ragdoll's not for you in that case, but at least they let you know what they want and when they want it. On that same note is grooming and brushing. So ragdolls have a lot of fur, and this is no surprise to anybody. You need to brush them at least 2 times a day. This is from this morning. This is a lot of fur. This is like, I could build like a whole other animal with it. But you need to brush the cat in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon, whenever you have time, whenever you can, you need to brush them, because their fur is so long, it is so dense that if you don't brush them, it will become matted, which will create a whole other mess that you don't want to deal with. And also it will create fur balls If the cat is just constantly grooming themselves, constantly taking off the fur, they will ingest a lot of it and they will have fur balls, which you also don't want to clean up. So by brushing them, by taking off this fur for them, you're saving a lot of work clean up around your house because there's fur everywhere. You know, there will be fur everywhere, all around your house, all along your clothes. You know, it's an occupational hazard. It just is there. But by brushing them all the time, you help to eliminate the matting, the fur balls, as well as the amount of fur just laying around your house. It's also a really nice way to bond with your cat because you're grooming them, and then like sometimes Lynx will lick us and groom us, so it creates this like little symbiosis, but it is a nice way to connect with them on a more emotional level that they understand. So I touched on this a little bit before, but ragdolls are large and in charge. They are big cats, and this will impact what sort of toys as well as infrastructure you purchase for your cat, meaning cat trees, litter boxes, food bowls, and dishes and whatnot. So ragdolls are large. We had to upgrade Lynx's litter box 3 times because we just didn't know. We bought like the small one when she was little, but then she outgrew that one in like a month. So we had to get a medium one, but then she outgrew that in like a month after. So then we just got this huge one and she's had that one ever since. So ragdolls are big cats and they will need large things, if that makes sense. So cat trees, there are also different types of cat trees for small cats, cat trees for medium cats, large cats, whatever. Get the largest one that you can possibly fit in your house. Because ragdolls have so much weight to them, they are such large cats. When they run, when they have the zoomies, they will move stuff around. It just happens. A large cat you would think you could easily take outside. Well, at least that's what I thought. We have taken Lynx outside on a few occasions. Given that their nature is to be floppy, to be just so docile and just like not complacent, but just sort of like chill, and given the consistency and the upkeep that their fur requires, having them outside is not always the best idea. When we got Lynx, we had to sign something saying that we would not have her as an outdoor cat. Could we take her outside occasionally to the park? Yes. Would she constantly be outside and basically all the way around? No, because she would be a target for predators. She's this bright white cat, very docile in nature. Something's gonna get her. Also, people would potentially steal her. Ragdolls are honestly, they're fairly expensive cats, you know, like well into the 1,000 to 2,000s, like easy. So they are quite expensive for a cat. That is something to keep in mind. If you take them outside, make sure you're fairly vigilant, keep an eye on them. Where I live, there's eagles and, you know, they might just swoop down and have the proposal moment where, you know, Sandra Bullock is holding onto the dog and the eagle. Like that is what I envision would happen with me and Lynx. So just keep that in mind if you take them outside, that they are not outdoors cats. When I was growing up, I had a Persian Himalayan cat. That cat was outside. It ended up getting eaten by a cougar. Rest in peace, Snowy. Part of that is that they're not super active cats. You know, if you see people that are around walking their cats, ragdolls for the most part will not do that. Whenever they have any sort of pressure on their body, their tendency is to just like flop, freeze up, and like fall down. We put a harness on Lynx and it's like she was dying. She like couldn't walk. It was like the most dramatic thing ever. So they're not the most active of cats. They will have the zoomies like every cat here and there, but Lynx is a lazy player. She wants us to come to her. From my experience with other ragdolls, that has been the case as well. They are lazy players. They are more lazy cats. They're chill cats. They're not gonna be running around, bouncing off the walls, which is nice. You know, we live in an apartment. That is what we want. We don't want a cat that's going to be running around, climbing on the walls, climbing on the curtains, whatever. Those are the things that I wish I knew. Would I have changed anything now that I know? Definitely not. I knew some of these things going into it, some of these things I didn't know. I guess like the upkeep of a ragdoll is, you know, it's like a lot of work, but if you're used to like keeping things nice, then it should be no problem for you. It's not the same for everybody. Some people don't like that level of maintenance. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any cats. Cat people, let me know. Meow down below. Let me know what cat you have. Let me know their name. Let me know anything that you want to know, basically. And any ragdoll lovers, feel free to join the club. That is my video. I hope to see y'all next time. Thank you for watching, and bye, guys.